Currently, the P-1 is one of the best in its class. In terms of its capability, it is the strongest competitor against the US P-8 Poseidon. But we do know that it is not. So, why did Japan develop an indigenous maritime patrol and anti-submarine warfare aircraft instead of producing a US one under license as before? As the weapon detective, we're investigating the P-1, the observer of the Japanese seas. Japan is the second largest maritime patrol and anti-submarine warfare aircraft operator after the USA, and they have used the experience in this field in the development of the P-1. The aircraft is well designed and has state-of-art mission equipment. This is usually sufficient for a weapon system to be successful in the international market. But this is not the case for Japan. Before analyzing the P-1, which is one of the best examples of this situation, let's get to know the aircraft. In 1968, Kawasaki began to develop an indigenous maritime patrol and anti-submarine warfare aircraft as the replacement of the P-2Js of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force. However, due to the effects of a large-scale inflation caused by the 1973 oil crisis, Tokyo decided to produce P-3 Orions under license as a cost-effective solution. Kawasaki lost this round. In the late 1990s, this time Japan began to seek a new maritime patrol and anti-submarine warfare aircraft to replace its aging P-3 fleet. At first, the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force considered a new system based on the Boeing 757 or Boeing 767. In those years, the USA was working on the Boeing 737-based P-8. It seemed like a logical option for the two countries to work together. But after an extensive study, the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force decided that the P-8 could not meet its operational requirements. Japan needed an indigenous maritime patrol and anti-submarine warfare aircraft. The Japanese Defense Agency began the domestic development of the PX program. Now, Kawasaki would take the rematch of the first round. In the beginning, to ensure interoperability with the US Armed Forces, Japan had intended to use many subsystems of the P-8 on the new aircraft. However, soon after, the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force realized that the P-1 has to be equipped with the domestically developed subsystems to fulfill its operational requirements. The P-1, the product of the PX program, shares much of the same parts that are used in the C-2 transport aircraft, also developed by Kawasaki. These aircraft have the same components such as the cockpit windows, outer wings, horizontal stabilizer, auxiliary power unit, cockpit panel, flight control system computer, anti-collision lights, and gear control unit. This significantly reduces the development, production, and lifecycle costs. The F710 turbofan engine of the aircraft was indigenously developed by IHI. The fuselage of the P-1 was made of aluminum alloy. Carbon fiber reinforced polymers are used for the tail and tail wing. The prototype of the aircraft, called XP-1, made its first flight on September 28, 2007. On March 29, 2013, the first two aircraft were delivered to the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force for trials. The P-1 reached the operational level in 2017. The only user of the aircraft is Japan. The 11-man crew of the P-1 consists of a 3-man flight crew and 8 mission system operators. The aircraft has a length of 38 meters, a wingspan of 35.4 meters, and a height of 13 meters. Its maximum takeoff weight is 79.7 tons. Four 60 kN F710 turbofan engines provide the maximum speed of 996 km per hour. The cruise speed of the aircraft is 833 km per hour. The range of the P-1 is 8,000 km. Its service ceiling is 13,520 meters. The aircraft has 8 internal bomb base stations and 6 external hardpoints for the AGM-84 Harpoon and Type 91 anti-ship missiles, AGM-65 Maverick air-to-surface missiles, Mark 46, Type 97, and Type 12 torpedoes, mines, and depth charges. The P-1 is the first operational aircraft that has a fly-by-optics flight control system. Different from the fly-by-wire flight control system, it uses fiber optic cables, not metal. So, the fly-by-optics flight control system has better performance and decreases electromagnetic disturbances to the sensors. The trials of this system were conducted on a modified UP-3C. The X-band HPS-106 active electronically scanned array radar of the P-1 has 360-degree coverage. The aircraft is also equipped with the HAQ-2 forward-looking infrared pod, the HSQ-102 magnetic anomaly detector, and HRQ-1 sonobuoy antennas. The tactical coordinator of the P-1 is supported by the HYQ-3 information control processor that applies knowledge-based technology with artificial intelligence components. The tactical coordinator, also known as TACO, coordinates the activities of the crew responsible for the tactical operation of the aircraft and its systems. The HYQ-3 processes the data information that comes from the various sensors and instructs the optimum strategy. This feature reduces the reaction time and workload of the TACO. The multifunctional information distribution system low-volume terminal of the P-1 is compatible with Link 16. So, the aircraft can share information with the Aegis destroyers of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, as well as the E-767s and the modernized F-15Js of the Japan Air Self-Defense Force. The F710 turbofan engine is supported by a full-authority digital engine control, which provides higher power output and lower fuel consumption. The engine is highly resistant to corrosion and burst strikes. It has noise damping panels, which reduce the noise level dramatically. The aircraft can continue its mission in the event of a single engine failure. The low-wing design of the P-1 provides better maneuverability and stability at low speed and low altitude flight. It also reduces the vibration. Some onboard systems, such as the auxiliary power unit, environmental and pressurization control systems, ram air turbine, sonobuoy dispensers, and elements of the avionics are US-made. The P-1 can be equipped with both the AGM-84 Harpoon and Type 91 anti-ship missiles. The locally developed Type 91, also known as ASM-1C, has a higher range and a heavier warhead than the US-made Harpoon. In 2015, the first P-1 prototype was refurbished to a utility aircraft and redesignated as UP-1. Japan is also considering the development of electronic warfare, electronic intelligence, and airborne early warning variants of this aircraft. If we look at its technical capabilities and dimensions, we can easily say that P-1 is the true competitor of the P-8 Poseidon in the international market. But Japan has failed to sell its new star to Germany, New Zealand, and the UK. Many sources consider that France, Thailand, and Vietnam are the potential customers of the P-1. But this is an optimistic consideration. Yes, the P-1 is a very capable and good maritime patrol and anti-submarine warfare aircraft. Yet, this is not good enough in the international market. The arms market is traditional. Unless the conditions are forced, or they have experienced great dissatisfaction, no military customer seeks a new source. Maybe a groundbreaking innovation could change the situation. In this perspective, Japan, which has not been a traditional supplier since the Second World War, is in a difficult position. Indeed, many countries see Japan as an attractive new source. Yet, the Japanese companies have not proved themselves in the international market. An arms deal is not just about procuring a weapon system. Sustainability is also crucial. In this field, Japan does not have enough experience to provide the necessary spare parts and technical support to a potential customer in the long term. The best known example of this is the Indian Drew helicopter. Technically speaking, the Drew is a successful system. However, some customers retired the helicopter in a short time because of the insufficient service support. None of the potential customers of the Japanese military systems wants to be the first. Everybody waits for a successful arms deal with another country to overcome the psychological barrier. And the P-1 does not have a groundbreaking innovation over the P-8. So, there is no valid reason for many countries to change their traditional source. Also, the P-8 has the advantage of being Boeing 737 based. Since the late 1960s, Boeing has produced more than 10,000 of these aircraft. This makes the P-8 one of the easiest maintainable military aircraft in the world with easy access to spare parts and technical personnel. Many P-8 users also have other Boeing 737-based military aircraft such as the E-7 and C-40. This provides an important logistical advantage. The P-1 has none of these advantages in the international market. Let's briefly analyze the countries that have been mentioned as a potential customer of the P-1 one by one. Thailand is the traditional customer of the West. Also, it will likely continue to acquire smaller and cheaper maritime patrol and anti-submarine warfare aircraft instead of heavy ones like the P-1 or P-8. It is unlikely that France, which has produced a legendary maritime patrol and anti-submarine warfare aircraft like the Atlantic, would prefer the P-1. For Paris, preserving its own aviation industry is a strategic matter. In fact, Airbus has already introduced an aircraft based on the A320, which is similar in concept to the P-8. Vietnam appears to be the strongest candidate. However, Vietnam is no longer a country that has problems with the West. Hanoi, with its improving relations with Europe and the US, is more likely to prefer a proven Western maritime patrol and anti-submarine warfare aircraft. In fact, Japan did not develop the P-1 for the international market. As we mentioned before, the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force is the second biggest maritime patrol and anti-submarine warfare aircraft user in the world. Because there is nothing but powerful countries that have significant problems with Tokyo and the east of this island nation. Even South Korea, which is another important ally of the USA in the region, does not have good relations with Japan. For this reason, it is inevitable for Japan to have a large number of maritime patrol and anti-submarine warfare aircraft. The local market is big enough. 7 countries have preferred the P-8, but the total order of the Poseidon is just over 120. Japan has ordered 60 P-1s. With the other possible variant, Kawasaki would produce up to 80 aircraft. It is a big success for the company. With this program, Japan has ensured the continuity of its own aviation industry. Who knows, maybe one day a country will dare to become the first foreign user of the Japanese defense products. And when that time comes, the P-1 will be ready as one of Japan's systems with the highest export potential. Thanks for watching our video. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up if you liked our video. To be notified of our new videos, please click the bell button. Also, you can now click the join button to support our channel.